All right, so what I wanted you guys here was how to do this worksheet. So you should have a copy of this. It's very similar to the drawings and things that we completed in class, but I just wanted to make sure that you didn't, get confused or anything like that. So the chart on the top, you should be able to fill out fairly easily. We'll start here with covalent bonding. And so I'm not going to worry about filling out that stuff. You guys should know how to do that. And the directions to complete each covalent bond, it says create the Lewis structure for each element's valence electrons. You can use open or closed circles or different colors. Don't worry about that. That was if you were doing it on paper here or on the notability. Rearrange the electrons to share electrons from each atom. Draw circles to show the sharing, and then draw the bonds structure. Use one line for each of them. So the only thing that this doesn't have that your other one did was your other one basically split them up into like 3 different sections. It was the rough work, okay, the electron dot, and then the bond structure, the structural. Here you're just going to kind of show the 2 of them together, electron dot and the rough work, and then I want to see the bond one. So for hydrogen and hydrogen, we're going to just draw the bonds. You have hydrogen and hydrogen. Okay, draw their bonds close to each other like this. And then I want you to circle which ones are attracted to each other, and which ones are going to form the bond. And so I don't need to necessarily see the second one where they're coming together. You can just show it like this. Okay. And then it says write the chemical formula for each molecule. So that would be H2. All right. So oxygen and 2 hydrogens. So we remember the one that goes in the middle is the one that needs to form the most bonds. And it tells me I need 2 hydrogen atoms. So oxygen that needs has 6 valence electrons, right? So it needs to form 2 more bonds. Each hydrogen only needs to form 1. So that tells me that oxygen is going to go in the middle, and your hydrogens are going to go, whoops, I don't want to do those lines, or I'm getting ahead of myself. And then the hydrogens go over here. So in terms of your valence electrons, we have 6 for hydrogen and 1 each for hydrogen, and then 6 for oxygen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, my dots are not greatest here. Okay. So the ones that I'm going to circle are here and here. So I'm just going to end up replacing those. And then my oxygens will have the unpaired electrons out there like that. Okay? And the final thing is writing down your chemical formula. So H2O. And then, so you'll continue to do that for the rest of these. Now ionic bonding is the next page here. Again, that chart should be okay for you to fill out. I'll do one of these here together. Sodium, number of protons, 11. Number of electrons, 11. Number of valence electrons is just 1. So should it gain or lose electrons? Again, ultimate goal for most of these is to get to 8. It's much, much easier to lose the one that it has than to try to gain 7. So lose and then 1. Okay. And then ionic charge, positive if it's lost electrons, negative if it's gained electrons. Again, since it's lost electrons, it'll be plus and then 1. All right, so for these, you create the Lewis structure for each element's valence electrons. Draw an arrow. Again, these are not circles. These are going to be arrows to show the transfer of electrons from one atom to the other. Determine the charge for each ion. I want you to label which one is the anion and which one is the cation. Again, anions are going to be the ones that are negative, and cations are positive. And then make sure the sum of the ionic charges equals 0, write the chemical formula. So basically all that means is that if you have a +2, you want to make sure that your negative charges add up to -2, okay? So potassium and fluorine, we'll do this example here together. Potassium just has 1 valence electron. Fluorine has 7. Okay. And so what I want to do here is number 2, draw an arrow or more if needed to show where the transfer of electrons is going to happen. So right here, make sure that you don't just have a line. Make sure you actually have an arrow. If you just have a line, I have no idea which way it's going. Okay. So then it says determine the charge for each ion. So now that K has lost an electron, right? It has a +1 charge. Now that fluorine has gained an electron, it has a -1 charge. +1 there. Fluorine, -1. Then it says label which is the anion, which is the cation. So this one is the cation. This one is the anion. And then when you bring them together, it'll just look like this. K and F. All right, now I have written down here how many molecules you will need. Like for magnesium and iodine, you're going to need 2 iodine molecules in order to accomplish the charges that you need. So keep that in mind as you kind of go through this. So hopefully you guys don't have any issues with that, but let me know if you have any questions.